Coming up on Flowing into Awareness with Master Intuitive Anatara. What did your spirit come here to do? Have you ever wondered why you are here in this life? How do we stay connected when we experience different emotions? This and more coming up next here on YHTV. This week's episode is brought to you by Support the Mountains Herbal Parasite Cleanse. This formula targets the small and large intestinal tracts and larvae, the most broad-spectrum formula available today. 100% organic, formulated by Dr. Mikio Sanki, author of the Esoteric Acupuncture series. For 10% off your first bottle, visit shopyogahub.com and use the coupon code CLEANSE at checkout. Hello and welcome to YHTV's Flowing into Awareness with visionary and master intuitive Anatara. I'm Christina Suzuma, your host for this program. Today our topic is, what did your spirit come here to do? And here is our beautiful Anatara. Hello,
Christina.
Hello.
I was thinking about the title of this, what did your spirit come here to do? And I thought about how many times we dance around this topic. Different ways to describe it, perhaps a little bit of a different perspective in here and there, but it's all the same thing. Are we not always referring to finding that connection within that tells us what spirit has to say to us, what our higher self has to say to us, what we are, in quotes, meant to be doing here on this planet of ours. I came across a very interesting idea this week, which was that we have all stepped into these bubbles of biology, these physical bodies of ours. They're just these bubbles of biology that need food, that need water, that receive, that eliminate. That need heat, that need cold. These bubbles of biology are very demanding. They have a lot to say to us. I like this. I don't like that. Oh, that feels really comfortable. That tastes good. Oh, that's awful. We are in this continuous circle of trying to please our biological bubbles. All right. So when we can hear from spirit, when we can hear from the other part of this biological existence, when we can become informed through the direct link of spirit to biology, then our biological bubbles have a lot easier time surviving. When they feel a little bit uncomfortable, they say, all right, that's not so pleasant, and let me see what spirit has to tell me about this seeming unpleasantness. When we feel ecstatic, we say, oh, this feels so good, and maybe spirit is telling us, don't get quite so excited about that because that takes you out of center. So that middle path, that way to go through life, seeing everything for what it is, and knowing that what spirit has for us to do, what spirit directs through us as being our choices for these biological bubbles, that is going to be the most gentle, the simplest, and in many ways the most rewarding sort of living that we can achieve. So when I say gentle, I don't necessarily mean that everything is honey and roses, but there can be a certain kind of gentleness in learning. There can be a certain kind of gentleness in diving deeply into the spirit nature of who we are, so that the biological bubble, physical, human part of us becomes informed from up above. So what do you think? What do you personally think about what spirit wants you to do here? And have you ever sort of, asked spirit, what do you really mean by that? I have the impression that I am here to guide people, to guide them into their spirit selves, to guide them into a way of not compromise, but a way of evaluating and bringing together spirit and human form. I know that's one of the main things that I'm here to do. I know that it's one of the main things that spirit or higher consciousness has for me to do. I know that. So knowing that are my choices about how I utilize my biological bubble easier? I'd say so. I'd say it's a lot easier when I know, and not just think, but when I know what spirit is guiding me and showing me I am to do right now. Now that assignment could change in the next minute or hour or, a few years, and it will likely definitely change in another lifetime. And I still know that here and now, Spirit has certain things for me to do that I can hear and know about, that I can interpret, and that I can bring into action, literal action, in this material, physical world in which my biological bubble exists quite easily and quite happily most of the time. I am not distressed by being emotionally upset. It doesn't distress me if I feel off center a little bit, because I just wait as I ask Spirit what it has for me to do right now. It's a constant dialogue between myself and what I consider to be Spirit, what I consider to be the all-knowing, the soul of everything, the universal, guidance system that we all exist in. So my basic recommendation is that we slow down a little bit. We step back a little bit from even thinking that we know exactly what Spirit has for us to do. And we let ourselves be informed, as I say in almost every time we speak together, let ourselves be informed through intuition, through sensing, through feeling, and through observing what is the most harmonious and appropriate thing for us to do in this given moment. And that when we feel that we don't know, that we wait, that we just simply say, okay, this is a moment of stasis. This is a moment of quiet resting while I sit in preparation and readiness. It doesn't even have to feel like waiting. I am in readiness for the next bit of information to come to me about what Spirit has for me to do.
Okay. I'm being told to fly.
How are the wings looking?
It's beautiful how you've put it, Anatara. I believe this is a very important question that a lot of people ask, which is, why am I even here? What am I doing here? And to be able to be still, connect in. It's a very interesting, journey that one takes. Mm-hmm. That when they begin to connect deeper and trust, and I think a lot of us people expect that the answer is going to be so clear. Woohoo! As if someone's talking, and to some it is very clear as that, and to others it might take a little more time where you sit and clear all the other ramblings. Right.
Riffraff ramblings, cross signals, multiple signals.
Cross signals. Yes.
The multiverse is full of information for us all the time. So how do we tune ourselves to get what feels the best in the moment?
Yes. Yes.
And it is okay to be looking at things through what feels best right now. Mm-hmm. That's not a bad way to adjust to what we're hearing.
Mm-hmm. And wouldn't you say? I mean, for some it's the stillness through meditation. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you say that for others it might be through another form, like possibly a physical form of workout, like runners, when they get that second wind, or dancers who are flowing with the music at that time, that things show up when we're got that sense of freedom happening?
For sure, and we're going to talk about freedom in our next episode.
Oh,
It really struck me when you said, stillness, become still, and I all of a sudden I was, thinking about kids and how children are still sometimes. Mostly they're not still, and you can watch a child be very, that they're connected to whatever is presenting itself to them. It's not that they are, flitting around from one thing to another, losing interest and not caring about anything with sort of a jittery, agitated energy. They are just available to whatever comes to them in that moment, as I was saying. And very frequently it has nothing to do with stillness. You can see them being called. You can see them being, something's knocking on them, saying, here I am, look at this. And it's okay to pay attention to this. What were you going to say?
I was going to say what's interesting is, as it's the perspective of time. That when I watch a child, their moments sometimes are fleeting, like they're short. But I don't know if you can remember, for me growing up, man, those days seem to be endless.
Oh.
A day would it's like, and yet people would say to me, "Oh, the day went by so quickly," and I'm like, "Really?" Right? Whereas, so I think that the perception of time is so different, that what we look at as this fleeting moment to that child as an observer, it may, in that child, because they're like these sponges that are just vibrating at this level, that those moments are actually, for them, really long.
Well, they're full. It's a fullness. And they're probably not thinking about time. They are just feeling whatever it is that they're doing. They are perceiving what the reciprocity is and whatever activity they're engaged in. And they're doing it. They're just doing it. They're not thinking about why, or that they have to, or that they're bored, or they're not bored. They move within what we call time, and they move within whatever activity or lack of activity is around them. And it's a fullness that they perceive and know. And that's definitely what we can do as adults too. As I said before, these biological bubbles that we are, we can be as full as the universe all the time. It's just a matter of perception.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Anatara, for this moment of fullness. And of course, we would like to thank each and every one of you for joining us in this new platform of education and information. We're grateful for your continuous support, and we look forward to hearing your feedback on how we can serve you better. You can connect with Anatara by following her on Twitter @Anatara, or on Facebook, Master Intuitive. And of course, through her own website, anatara.ca. We hope that you have enjoyed this moment on YHTV and it has supported you or a loved one in some way. We invite you to take a moment to like us or subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that will help to promote us even further, and we would thank you for that. We're grateful for any feedback, comments, suggestions that you may give us. So give us a call at 818-LETS-TALK. 818-LETS-TALK. Until next time, namaste.
We know that the systems of sound and hearing start in the uterus very early, and we learn about sound through vibration. And one of the interesting things that I did in my research is, there's the certain frequency of sounds that we hear in the human ear, and then there's sounds that are below that frequency and above that frequency. And within the realms of medicine and healing, Western medicine uses the sounds that are above the hearing sounds